Hello everyone, welcome to Online Study for You, one-step solution for all your placement needs. I am your friend Nikhil Prakash and today we are going to discuss some important questions for InfiTQ exam. So after proper analyzing the InfiTQ sample paper, we have brought you some important coding questions based on the similar type of pattern. So let us start. So this is our first question and let us read it out together. It is saying that you are provided with a positive number x. So you are given a positive number as a input. Okay, it's let us name it x. So for this number, find the value of x after performing the following operations. So what are the operations? You can see we have some operations which we have to perform on the variable x. So first operation is update x by adding reverse of x to it. What it means? It means that we have to update the value of variable x after adding the reverse of x to that value. If the new value of x is palindrome, so what is palindrome? It means if the number is same as its reverse, then it is called as palindrome. Then what we have to do? Then we have to stop. Otherwise, we have to repeat the previous step. So this was the previous step. Finally, we have to print the palindrome number stored in X. So there are some examples given below. So we will take a look at this thing. So it is very much important that you read this question once, twice and thrice. Okay, if you have 100% time for coding, you should give at least 40% of your time in reading and understanding the question, because coding part is very much easy. Okay, you will code, if you get the logic, then you can easily code the answer in 10 minutes maximum. Okay, so it is very much important that you understand the code. Next, give your 20% of your time in creating the logic. Okay, writing the things, understanding the input output and creating the logic. Then you can give the remaining time in coding the answer and passing the test cases. So let us read this question again and now let us understand technically what is it saying. So you can see we have to take a value x as input, which has been provided us. So first we have to take a value x and it is of integer type. Now we have to update the value of x by what? Adding the reverse of it. So suppose our x is 123. So we have to update the reverse of it. What is the reverse of 123? It is nothing but 321. So what it will become? It will become what? 1 plus 3, that is 4, 2 plus 2 4 and 1 plus 3 4. So you can see this is the final number. Next step is what? We have to, if the new value means if the new number which we get of x, so this thing again we have to store to x. Okay, so this thing again we have to store in x. If this value is palindrome, then we have to stop. So what is palindrome? Palindrome means if a number is equal to its reverse. So suppose we are having a number 13231. So you can see when we reverse it, it will again become what? 13231. So it can be said as palindrome. If we have similar digits 222, it can be called as palindrome because its reverse is equal to the number itself. Similarly, you can see 444 is what? 444 is a palindrome number. So what we have to do? We have to stop. Otherwise, we have to repeat the previous step. What was the previous step? This was the previous step. We have to repeat it. So again, we have to repeat it for 444. Okay, if it is not palindrome. But we have a palindrome answer. Now let us check the examples that how they work. So let us see the first example. You can see 95. For 95, what is the first step? So this first step is that we have to store it in x and we have to add the reverse of it to the value of x. So you have to add reverse of 95. So what we will do, we will create a function reverse, okay, which will reverse the number, and we will use the digit extraction concept. Okay, we can use two things. Either we can convert this number to a string and iterate it from backwards, or we can use the concept of digit extraction. Okay, so I am going to use the digit extraction concept. So this reverse function, what it will do, so it will give the reverse of that number. If it is 95, then this function will return 59. So what is this now? So let us write like this, that for 95 the reverse is 59. Now if we add both of them, we get 154. Now we have to check after the second step says that we have to check it if it is palindrome. No, 154 is not palindrome. Now again we have to perform the step 1 for this number. So for 154 we have to again add it with the reverse of the number. So what is reverse of 154? It is 451. Now if we add this, what we will get? We will get 5 here, then 0, then 4, 5, 6. We will get 605. Now again this number is not palindrome. So we have to again add it with the reverse. So 605 plus 506. So what we are doing, you can see we are adding in every step. Now what is the number? So 6 plus 5 is 11. So this is 1. Then again 6 plus 5 is 11. So we are getting 1111. So is this 1111 a palindrome? So yes, it is a palindrome. So what we have to do? You can see if it is palindrome, then we have to stop. So now we will stop. So what is the final value stored in x? So now x is storing 1111. Okay, we haven't discussed the code yet. Don't worry. Just we are understanding the what algorithm we have to follow. So this is, you can see output matches with our output. Now let us check the second output. Similarly 15. If we add reverse of 15 to 15, it will become 15 plus 51. So what is it? It is 66. Now we have to check, is it palindrome? So yes, it is palindrome. We have to stop. So this is the final value stored in x. You can see finally what we have to do after stopping. Finally we have to print the palindrome number stored in x. So you can see it is 66 here. Now suppose it is 3. Remember, the number is not checked initially. Okay, initially we have to add at least one time. We have to add the reverse of that number. So what is reverse of 3? Reverse of 3 is 3 itself. So it will become 6. Now in the second step we have to check. So you can see now it is palindrome, because one number, single digit number, is always palindrome. Now do you get an idea what we can do? We can take a exit control loop. What is exit control loop? In exit control loop, condition is checked at the time of exit. You can see after performing a particular task, we are checking one condition. What is the condition? If our number is palindrome or not. Okay, so we can use exit control loop. Okay, if we use any programming language, we have an exit control loop. Its name is do while. So here I am going to use Java for coding. Okay, but don't worry, if you are not familiar with Java, then also you can understand the algorithm very much. Okay, you can do the same thing in different programming language also. So we will use do while. So now let us jump to the coding part. Because we have understood the logic, we have to repeat one step in do while until we get a palindrome number. Before that, let us understand one more concept, that we have told that we will create a function which will reverse a number. So what we can do for doing this, suppose we have a number like 123. So how can we reverse this number? So suppose we have stored it in num, it is storing 123. So I will use digit extraction concept. Okay, I am giving you two results. First result is, if we mod any number with 10, we will get the last digit. Okay, I can show you also proof. If we have 12, if we do mod 10, it will give us 2. If we have 499, if we do mod 10, it will give us 9. Why it is giving us 9? Because it is giving us the remainder. And 499, if you mod it with 10, what is the remainder? So 10 4 is a 40, remaining 99, then 10 9 is a 90. You can see every time the last digit will be the remainder. So mod will give us what? Mod will give us the last digit. Mod 10 will give us the last digit. And if we divide any number with 10, it will give us the entire number except the last digit. Okay, it will give us the entire number except the last digit. So suppose if I give you example 456, and if I divide it by 10, so what we have a concept in Java, that if we divide integer value with integer value, the result is always a integer. So normally it will be what? It will be 45.6. But since both are integer values, so this decimal part will be ignored. So our answer will be 45. So you can see except the last digit, we are getting the whole number. Now if we have number 1 2 3 3, and if we divide it by 10, our answer will be 123. So these two concepts we are going to use, this one and this one. The code for digit extraction is that we have to repeat one thing, that until the number is greater than 0, we have to repeat a particular thing. So what is our number? Suppose we have taken n as 123. Okay, now this is the number and we will have to find the reverse of this number. So what we will do? First we will find the digit. So for digit, let us create a variable d. And how can you find the last digit? We can do n mod, and what more thing we can do? 10. So this will give us the last digit one by one. Okay, now next thing what we can do, we can update the number by n by 10. You can see when we are having 1 2 3, our d is having 3. Okay, then we have updated the n to 12, means we have removed the last digit. Again what we will do, we will do n mod 10, so it will give us the second digit. Lastly, it will give us the first digit. So I will dry run and show you this also, don't worry. Now lastly what we have to do, we have to do that reverse is equal to reverse into 10 plus d, and initially I have stored reverse as 0. Now let me dry run and show it to you that how it works. Okay, so this is a digit extraction concept. Okay, if I am taking longer time to do this code because I want to explain you that how this digit extraction concept works. And remember, whenever you want to check a loop, okay, whenever you want to check output for a loop, always use dry run table. It will be very helpful and it will save your time. Okay, so let me show you how dry run table works. First we have to write the variables present in the loop. You can see we have a variable n, then we have a variable d, then we have a variable rev. Now let us have the condition also. Okay, the condition is n should be greater than 0. Okay, what are the initial values? Initially n is 123 and reverse is 0. Now the condition, let us check the condition. N is greater than 0. So yes, 123 is greater than 0. So condition is true. So we have come inside the loop. Now d is equal to n mod 10. So what is value of d? Last digit of n. So it is 3. Now you can see n is updated to n by 10. So this 123 is now 12. Now reverse is updated with reverse into 10 plus d. So you can see reverse was initially 0. 0 into 10 is nothing but 0, and we have added d. So what is it? It is nothing but 3. Now you can see again control goes up and condition is checked. So 12 is greater than 0. So yes, 12 is greater than 0. Now d is updated with n mod 10. So what is n mod 10? So you can see n is 12 and 12 mod 10 is nothing but 1. 12 mod 10 is nothing but the last digit 2, and n is again updated to n by 10. So it will remaining 1. Now reverse is storing what? Reverse into 10 plus d. So what is reverse? You can see from the table that it is 3. So 3 into 10 plus d. So d is storing 2. So 3 tens are 30 plus 2. It is nothing but 32. So reverse is storing now 32. Now again control goes up and n is greater than 0. So yes, we have 1 and 1 is greater than 0. So what will be storing d? D will be storing n mod 10. So if you divide 1 by 10, you will get a remainder 1 only. So we are having 1. So you can see d is indicating what? D is indicating all the digits 1 by 1 from back to front. Now n is equal to n by 10. So now n is 0 because 1 by 10 is 0.1. But if we consider the non-decimal part, it is 0. Now reverse is updated with reverse into 10 plus d. Reverse is 32, then into 10 plus d. D is 1. So it is what? 320 plus 1. It is 321. So you can see reverse is storing 321. Now you can see n is greater than 0. So no, condition is false because n is now 0 itself. So you can see this algorithm is helping us to reverse a number. Lastly, the final value is stored in reverse. Now if you want to check palindrome, we can check if this reverse is equal to the initial number or not. Okay, so let us do the coding part. Okay, so I am creating a class with the name as question1. And in this class, firstly I will have my main block. So this is my main block, and inside the main block, what the question is saying that we have to take a number as an input which is of integer type. So for taking the number, I am using the scanner class. So for using scanner, we know that scanner is present in the util package. So you have to write java.util.scanner, or we can write java.util.start. So you have to create the object of the scanner class and pass the in object for input support. So this is the basic syntax which everyone knows, I think. Now let us take a integer number. So this we have inputted a integer number from the user. Now what was the thing which we have to do? Let us see back. So you can see here that we have to repeat this step. Okay, update the value of x by adding the reverse of x to it. So we will create a function which will give us the reverse, and we will use do while loop because we have to check at last that if the final value of x is palindrome or not. I am using a do while loop. So you can see this is the structure for a do while loop. We have to update this n, which is our number, with n plus reverse. So let me use reverse word for creating the function. Later I will create the function. Okay, if this is the function, then we should pass n, and this will return what? This will return the reverse of the number. Now in the while loop, what we have to check? We have to check if the number is palindrome or not. So this will be repeated until when? Until the number is not palindrome. So what is the condition which it will check? Means if the the number is not equal to the reverse of the number. So I can call again the same function, reverse of n. So if the number is not equal to the reverse, then we have to again repeat this step. So what will happen? Whenever this number becomes equal to the reverse, the control will stop, the loop will stop. So now only one thing is remaining, that we have to create the reverse function. Public, then you can see I am calling the function without object. So I am creating it as static, and its return type is int because it is returning the reverse, and its name is reverse, and it is accepting a number, let it be n. Now what we have to do? So we have to take a variable reverse which will store the final reverse value, and let us initialize it with 0. Just now we have seen the digit extraction concept, and this will repeat until n is greater than 0. And what we have to do? We have to first extract the digit from last. So digit is equal to n mod 10, and next what we have to do? We have to update the value of n with n by 10. Okay, so lastly we have to update the value of reverse to add the number which we have extracted in D. So reverse is equal to reverse multiplied with 10, then we can add D. So this function is ready. Lastly what we have to return? We have to return the value of rev. Okay, it is showing the reverse of a number. Now what more thing is remaining? So you can see when the control comes out of the while loop, what the question is saying, that we have to print the value of n. What is the final value? So we know that n will always store a palindrome number. Why? Because this loop will only end until this both value becomes equal. So system dot out dot print ln, and I am printing the value of n. Now the code is ready. Let us check this out if it works or not. So you can see it is running successfully, and we have to enter an integer number. So let us take the number from the question. You can see for 95 the answer will be 4 times 1. So if you enter 95, you can see the answer is 4 times 1. Let us check one more example. If we enter 15, answer should be 66. If we enter 15, answer should be 66. That's also correct. If we enter 3, we should get 6. So if we enter 3, we are getting 6. Let us check one last more. If we enter 1 3 3 5, we get 6 6 6 6. So if we enter 1 3 3 5, we get 6 6 6 6. So this code is running perfectly. You can see this code also on the screen. What I have done, I have just created the function which will do the reverse. So you can see coding part was so much simple. It took so less time. Main part was understanding the question and creating the pseudocode for the question. So now let us see the next question. So this is the next question, and it is a bit interesting. So pause the screen and try to do it yourself. So I think you have read it and try to attempt it. Now let us do it together. So let us read this. You are given an unsorted array. Okay, so you have been given an array which is of positive integers type element. Okay, so it is consisting of only integer type elements, and all are positive in nature. So your task is to sort the given array in wave format. So you can see we have to not only sort the array, we have to sort it in a specific format. It is wave format. So this is the interesting part. So let us understand what is wave format, such that elements at even index are smaller and elements at odd index are greater than their next element. So if the array is sorted in wave format, so what will happen, that elements at even index are smaller in comparison to their neighbors, okay, adjacent elements, and element at odd index are greater than its adjacent elements. So this is the question. So the first line of input contains single length of array. Okay, so first line of input contains the length of the array, that is n, we can take it, and the second line of input contains all the elements of the given array separated by space. So you can see in the example also, we have given the 9, which is the length of the array, then we have given with 9 element, and then it has been arranged in wave format. So let us understand this wave format first. Okay, so one line is remaining. The single line of output should contain what? The resultant array separated by spaces. So you can see all the array are again separated by spaces. So what is this wave format? Let us understand this. Suppose we take any random array, okay, which is unsorted. Let us take like 1 2 3 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is an array which has 8 elements and we have to arrange it in wave format. So wave format means something like this. Suppose these are the index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So at the 0th index the element should be smaller. So at even index the element should be smaller than its adjacent index. Okay. And this odd index, that is 1, 3, 5, 7, the index should be greater. So this we want to achieve. So this is what, this is a wave, you can see lower, upper, lower, upper, lower, upper. So this we want to achieve. So how can we do that? So you can do hit and trial method for this. Okay, first you can try to arrange all the elements in ascending order. Then you can try to swap adjacent elements. Then you can try, if that doesn't work, what you can do, you can sort. Let me write it. First step is you have to sort all the elements in descending order. Now what will happen if we sort all the elements in descending order? It will become like this: 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Now the second step is that we have to, so how can we swap the adjacent elements? Suppose 8 and 7 are adjacent, so we can swap it like this: 8 will come here, 7 will come here, then 6 will come here, 5 will come here, 4 will come here, 3 will come here, 2 will come here and 1 will come here. Now you can see that what happens now: 7, this is 7, this is 8, this is 5, this is 6, this is 3, this is 4 and this is 1, this is 2. Now if you check clearly, you can see that this 8 is what? This 8 is greater than 7 and greater than 5. Then this 5 is less than 8 and less than 6. Then this 6 is greater than 3 and this 3 is less than 4. Then this 4 is greater than 1 and this 1 is less than 2. Now if you see clearly, isn't it a wave format? If I draw a line for wave, so first number is 7. You can see 7 is less, so I am starting from bottom. Then 8 is more, so I am going to top. Then 5 is less, so I am going again to bottom. Then 6 is more, then going to top. Then 3 is less, then 4 is more, then 1 is less, then 2 is more. So this is a wave format. So this we have to achieve. So now let us do the code. These two things we have to do normally. So let us create a class and name it as question2, and let us have the main block. So this is the main block. Inside the main block we have to input the length of the array and the array itself. So for that we need the scanner class. So scanner sc equal to new scanner system.in. So you can see for scanner I have imported our java.util.scanner. Now first thing you have to enter, you can see the question that it was telling to enter a size of the array. So I am taking integer variable n is equal to sc.nextInt. Now next thing we have to take the array itself. So first we can declare the array that int arr is equal to new int, and what is the size? The size is n. So we have to input that array. So we can use a loop. So for int I is equal to, starting from the 0th index till the ending index minus 1, that is I less than n or and I plus plus. Now in arr of I can accept a value of int type. Okay, so this is done. We have inputted the array. Now we have to sort the array in descending order. So you can use any sorting algorithm, bubble sort, selection sort, but there is also a function in Java which sorts the array in ascending order. So I am using that function. It is present in arrays class. You can see for arrays I have imported java.util.arrays. This is the class and the function name is sort. So it is present in arrays class. If I pass an array in this arr, so our array will be sorted in ascending order. So now our array is sorted in ascending order. So I have to reverse it also. So for reversing it, what I can do, I can take another array and iterate this array in descending order. Means from back to forward, from end to start. So let us create a new array. So I am creating a descending array. And I am giving the size same as n. Now what I am going to do, I am starting from the last index. So what is the last index? So I is equal to n minus 1. This is the last index and I should be greater and equal to 0. This is the first index, then I minus minus. So what I am going to do, I am going to store, so I will take variable to move through the index in descending array. So let me name it as int index, and I'm initializing it with 0. Now this will help me to store values. Okay, so DESC, so this is the new array of index plus plus. So this will store the value and again increase the index. Okay, so I am assigning here what? The last value of array ARR of I. So let me explain you what is happening here. You can see this was the array. Initially it was not sorted. I have sorted that in ascending order. Then I am iterating it from backward to forward, from back to front, and I am storing all the elements one by one. So this DESC is the new array which is in reverse order. So for surety, let me show you that also. So there is a function of arrays class only, that arrays dot toString. So using this function I can print the array without loop. Okay, so I am passing descending. Now you can see on the output, if I enter an array randomly, it will be sorted in descending order. So let it have 5 numbers. If I enter 6, 5, 3, 8, 4, you can see it is ascending in descending order, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3. Okay, means it is working. So let me remove this. Now we have sorted in descending order. Now we have to swap the adjacent elements. So I am moving by 2 steps. Okay, so why I am moving by 2 steps? Let me explain it to you. I will swap the ith index and the I plus 1 index. So suppose this, if the descending array looks like this, I am going to iterate through all the even index. Okay, it means this is 0, 2, 4, 6. So what I will do, if suppose this is pointing to I will swap it with I plus 1. So this is I plus 1. If this is I, this is I plus 1. So it will be swapped. Okay, these two will be swapped. So you can see this will also be swapped, this will also be swapped. Suppose we are having odd number of elements, means we are starting from 9. So 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So now what will happen? The last element will remain as it is. So you can see if I swap 9 with 8, 7 with 6, 5 with 4, 3 with 2, and 1 will be as it is. So it will what? It will 8, 9, 6, 7, 4, 5, 2, 3 and 1. Now you can see that it is still in wave format because 9 is greater than 8 and 6, 7 is greater than 6 and 4, 5 is greater than 4 and 2, and 3 is greater than 2 and 1. Still it is in wave format. So it means what? We will iterate it to the last index minus 1. So what is the last index? We know the last index is n minus 1 because if the length of the array is 7, its index starts from 0 to 6. So we will iterate it till the last index, then again minus 1, means n minus 1 minus 1. So let us do the code. I should go till I should be less than n minus 1, means 1 before the last index. Now I will jump I by 2. So I is equal to I plus 2, I is equal to I plus 2. So now what I have to do? I have to do swapping. So we know that for swapping we can use third variable. So I am creating a third variable. Without creating third variable also we can do. So in this I am storing descending of I. I am swapping it with I plus 1 index. So descending of I can be stored as descending of I plus 1. Lastly, descending of I plus 1 can be stored as 10. So this is doing the swapping part. Now we have to again print the array with one single space in between. So how can we do that? We can use a single for loop. For int I is equal to 0, I should be less than the length of the array, then I plus plus. And I can print system.out.print. So I'll print, I will not do print ln, I will do print because I have to print on the same line, and DESC of I with a single space. So this code is complete. Let us check it out. Now it's running. So first I have to pass the number of elements in the array. Let me pass 8. I am passing a random array 45, 22, 35, 16, 12, 10, 5, 988, 56. How many elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so let me remove one. Okay, now you can see it is sorted in what? It is sorted in a wave format. Why? You can see first at even index we are having small values. You can see this is even index, it is smaller than odd index, and this is also even index, it is smaller than its adjacent index. This is even, smaller than its adjacent. Again 5 is smaller than its adjacent. Now you can see at odd index it is greater than its adjacent, because 45, okay, this is odd index first and it is greater than its adjacent. 35 is greater than 22 and 12, 16 is greater than 12 and 5, and lastly 10. So let us check for the given test case. So let us enter this term, okay, and check if it gets the exact answer or not. So you can see for the given test case it is giving the correct answer, that is 896745231, and here also it is 896745231. Now let us check for this test case. You can see for this test case also answer is correct, that is 112, 253, 86, 97, 23, 48, 8. Here also 112, 253, 86, 97, 23, 45 and 8. So this is the code for the last question. Thank you for listening with so much patience. That was it for this lecture.